Ugh. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
you either
could.
you either heard that or this episode started with me going into a
Yeah,
microphone.
yeah. So
So,
we'll see. Only time will tell. I already opened my water can, my can water. I only have rustles of candy wrappers, and
good.
and,
Very good.
and maybe the faint sound of a cat purring on
Welcome
my
to
end.
our welcome to the world's worst ASMR episode of anything.
My
I've
cat.
seen
Hey,
I've seen things, Dale.
you've
I've
seen
seen things
you've
this
seen
week. I've
things.
had weird experiences in media this
Oh
week.
God.
But before that,
Oh my
hello
gosh.
internet. Welcome to
I'm
Say
gonna open my
Report Jr.,
Reese's.
show you should be listening to, subscribe to, and for some reason downloading every week. So talk over the crinkle crinkle.
Crinkle crinkle.
I'm one of your host companions, Zach Sarowik.
And I'm your other host companion, Dale Decker, and Ruby has finally sat down. Nope, she changed her mind.
Oh, because you said her name.
I did.
Uh,
She looked at the keyboard and was like, "What's that?" So yeah, so how you doing, Zach?
oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
I've got three things in. I took notes. I took notes. I listed three things to talk about. Those are notes now because I needed to remember. I'm trying to think of where to start.
If you wrote them down, then they're notes by definition.
Disney Plus premiered
Uh huh.
today, and after like half a day of nobody being able to use it because everybody was trying to use it, finally
Mhm.
got it working. And I watched a pilot for something. I watched the first episode of something,
Was
and
it
it was strange.
was
I
it
bet in a million years you will not guess the words about to come out of my mouth.
was it the Mandalorian?
No. I mean,
What
yes, I watched that, but no. Not the one I'm thinking of.
what?
Mandalorian is great. First episode of Mandalorian is great. That's all I'm going to say about it because it's the
Okay.
first episode of a thing, and they're not doing full season drops. They're doing weekly episodes.
Oh,
So there's only one
interesting.
episode of that, and I haven't watched the one episode of the Jeff Goldblum travel show yet, but I'm going to
So there is a
because I
Jeff
think.
Goldblum travel
Oh
show
yeah,
because I
no,
saw his
that's a
picture.
real thing. Yeah, because part of part of the Disney Plus
Is
part of
National
the Disney
Geographic.
oeuvre, yes, is National Geographic, and so they got Jeff Goldblum to do a National Geographic travel show for Disney Plus that is just him going around being fascinated by things.
Well, it sounds
It's
like
just Jeff Goldblum walking around places and going, "Wow," for like half an hour.
it's incredible.
um,
Incredible.
but no, I watched a show where the pilot I thought was going to go every 5 minutes. I thought the show was going off in a whole other direction. I was like, how is this the introduction to these characters? How am I supposed to, what's going on? You didn't even name half these people I've seen on screen. And I'm talking, of course, about the Boy Meets World pilot.
Oh, interesting.
I
Interesting.
watched the Boy Meets World pilot today
Interesting.
because I was like, I really should rewatch that show at some point in my life.
Yeah.
And I could not like seriously every 5 minutes I could not tell you what I thought the end of that episode was going to be, like what the big moral like Mr. Feeney lesson basically was going to be at the end of this episode because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's a very stringent formula to that show, which is Corey Matthews does a bunch of dumb stuff and Mr. Feeney sits his ass down and teaches him something.
Yeah.
That's the show. So I was like,
Pretty much.
what are we gonna do? Because the show opens first off. So Sean Hunter's in this episode, never named. He's just
Yeah.
sits at a
Nope.
table, talks to Corey for a whole episode, like in three scenes, never get a name.
Nope.
Number two, Topanga does not exist.
Nope.
She's not even in the second episode because I watched that too. uh, so like the whole episode is Corey wants to go to a baseball game. Yeah, it's like the it's supposed to be like a Phillies game.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go to the Phillies game, and then Eric has a date and decides he's gonna take a date to the game instead of Corey.
Yeah.
Cool. So is that gonna be the kind of like is that gonna be the dilemma of the episode? Well, kind of. That's just a thing happening to Corey this episode. And it's a thing that he decides means that no one in this family loves him. I'm gonna go live out in the treehouse instead.
Yep.
So he goes and does that. And is that really important to the episode? Not really.
No.
It plays off for like one scene, And then for the rest of the episode, he's just not living in the house. And then at the end of the episode, he decides he's moving back into the house. So that's not really the dilemma.
Nope.
Then he straight up has a whole conversation with Sean about skipping detention and going to buy scalped tickets for the baseball game.
Yep.
And you would think, oh, so this is gonna be like right at the gate, very first episode, it's gonna be an oh my god, Corey is lost. He took the bus when he wasn't supposed to, and oh my god, where is this 11-year-old child? Nope, that never comes up again. He just goes to detention. So so there's that. So that's never a problem. And then he thinks that Mr. Feeny like didn't get a date, and so he felt bad about it. And so he was like all being pissy about like family and love because they're learning about Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson. Because then all of a sudden he gets his big monologue lesson is Mr. Feeny teaching him that love is important because families love each other. That's the lesson of the pilot of Boy Meets World. What?
So, there's a lot of that I remember seeing, but I don't remember it all being in one episode.
Right? It felt like 4 different episodes. Because the second episode is Corey wants money for a squirt gun, so he like paints the fence to do it.
Yep.
And then screws up he paints Mr. Feeney's shutters and accidentally sprays the fence behind them, so he has to fix the fence. And it's a whole thing about like his dad doing all the work, doing a bunch of work, and Corey not being a kid because he wants to get work instead so that he can buy the squirt gun. It's like a whole thing,
Yeah.
but it's all one coherent episode. It's all one episode that is solidly about he wants this squirt gun, and so he decides he wants to work, and whether or not like he's too young to work because he should be a kid instead, because otherwise he become a cranky old man. Like that's the whole lesson. Cool. One episode. Got it. That pilot was like, what? Why? Why do I need 5 different storylines for this?
Because I gotta show you everything. I gotta teach you everything. Kinda,
And it really is. It really is
kinda.
that like, oh, it's because we've decided what he needs is a distinct plot with every character in his life in this opening opening episode.
We're just gonna show you snippets of the people who will
Right.
show up.
Right. It's the brother plot. It's the Eric plot. The Feeney plot. But Morgan's even got a plot for
Oh, of
2
course she
minutes
does.
in this episode, and his parents have a plot in this episode.
Yeah.
I will give them consistency though. The girl that for a pilot to second episode continuity, they bring back Eric's date. They bring back like it's the same house. There's no like major structural building changes.
Yeah.
It's fairly consistent.
That's good. Good for you.
They do
Boy
they
Meets
do
World.
add Minkus. They do add Minkus in episodes.
Oh, Minkus is the best. Let me tell you something about Girl Meets World. There's a kid in Girl Meets World whose dad is Minkus, and like first episode, I'm like, this kid's dad is Minkus. There's no way he does not come from Minkus's loins.
Does Minkus show up in Girl Meets World?
Yes, he does.
Oh, thank God, because he's in One Tree Hill, so I get to watch Boy Meets World, and then like when he disappears off Boy Meets World, it's when he goes on to One Tree Hill for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he shows up in Girl Meets World, and it's just hilarious. It's so good. I miss Girl Meets World was good. I really liked Girl Meets World.
All
They did-
3 seasons of that show. I didn't realize there was 3 seasons of that show.
I know. I really want to go back and watch it because my like experience with Girl Meets World was really just like an episode was on here or there, and I would watch it and usually cry because because the thing was is that I knew enough about the characters because I watched the first like maybe 3 episodes. So I'm like, okay, I know who your characters are. I know what your characters are all about. I know how I'm supposed to feel about these characters. And it's just like every episode of Boy Meets World that makes me cry. It's like every episode of Girl Meets World makes me cry. And it's great. They did a really good job, I think.
Is Mr. Feeney a ghost in that show?
No.
Or is he alive? He's alive? Okay. Some of us might have been joking when they mentioned
believe
Mr.
he's
Feeney.
alive. Because I think they...
I believe, does he interact with anybody?
No, I think there's an episode where they meet Mr. Feeney. Or they bring Mr. Feeney in, like, because they really need him to talk to the kids also.
that just the pilot? That's not the pilot, is it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't
Which
remember. I don't remember the order of events. I don't even remember the order of events of like Boy Meets World because I just remember that show in snippets, and I remember certain scenes and certain like episode plots, but I don't know when they happen.
All I know now is that at some point Adam Scott shows up as a high school bully, which try to wrap your
Really?
mind around that idea.
Really?
Yes, the high school bully that deals with that is in the high school years of that is Adam
Yeah.
Scott.
That's
The
crazy.
and
the big
and the redhead that's their college that's Eric's college roommate. That actress is a porn star now.
oh
That's yeah.
well there you go.
This is what I know about the history of Boy Meets World at this point. Somewhere Andrew Lawrence shows up, and there's like four different. There's like Eric, Sean consistently has brothers
Yes.
that just show up for an episode
Yeah.
and disappear again.
Yeah, so when Andrew Lawrence shows up, that's when I remember it the most because it's a Lawrence brother for A's. But for B's, it's like a plot line where Eric, Sean, and the Lawrence brothers character's name, which I don't remember.
I don't either. I remember him as Eric's roommate and
Yeah.
Sean's brother.
Yeah.
Half brother? Half brother.
It's half brother. So like they live together, but there's also an area where like Sean lives with the cool teacher with like
Mr. Turner.
yeah, Mr. Turner.
With the motorcycle
With
and the Fonzie jacket.
Yeah. And so Sean lives with Mr. Turner, and then I think there's overlap where all of them live together. All four of them live together. And I'm like, yeah, this is the show I want. I want to watch these four guys living together.
You just want
Because-
brotherly love with Mr. Turner.
Well, because
You
they're
want-
like the best characters. They're all of the best
Ah.
characters in under one roof. I'm like, yep, this is all I need. This is great. This is throw in what's her name?
Angela?
Yep, thank you. Throw in Angela because she needs to be in the show too because the introduction of Angela changing, like game changing to that show.
That's a
'Cause
show
she-
that somehow has like three different eras, and each of them actually is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
I would say its weakest one is these early years, and they're still pretty
Oh, yeah.
good. It's just that the early years are the most like family sitcom-y
Yeah.
until it becomes like
Well,
its
'cause it was-
own show with its own lore later
Yeah.
on,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one. I didn't realize it would be on Disney Plus, but it's one that I'm like, I'm going to rewatch this and actually watch it with a cognitive mind.
You know what else you can watch on Disney Plus? Speaking of the Lawrence brothers, you can watch Horse Sense
I
and
don't.
the ship one that came after it. That's the sequel to Horse Sense, but not called Horse Sense 2.
Yeah, it's like
Shipwrecked or
Shipwreck.
something.
Yeah, something. Also, The Other Me.
Yep.
Talking about the Lawrence brothers. The Other Me. I fucking love The Other Me. That movie is so good.
That's
I
a movie
think
where
about
he,
that movie-
he that's the movie where he uses a comb to stir water, and that's what makes him a
He
clone,
clones
right?
himself. So he gets a kit. Like he gets a kit or something, a science kit.
Oh no, he thinks it's sea monkeys. He
Yeah,
thinks it's sea monkeys,
thinks
and he
it's sea
uses the comb to
monkeys.
stir the sea monkeys into the tank, and then
Yeah.
it turns out to be cloning juice.
Yeah,
Like-
because he gets like the wrong package or something. It's like they get the wrong package.
I miss that era of Disney Channel original movie. Damn it.
Well, you know what other movie I'm really excited to see, and I don't remember what it's called, but it's got Tia Tamari and Tia.
Tia Tamara?
Yeah, like,
Tia and Tamara Mowry? Is that what you're
yes,
trying to say?
No, I'm trying to think of their brother's name.
Oh.
Taj.
Taj.
Yeah. Tia
Is it the
Tamara.
one with the dogs?
Huh?
Is it the one with the dog?
No. That
Okay,
one
good.
I'm excited to watch again too, though, because I fucking love that movie too with the little dog, and it's Taj Mahal, and he has to take care of the dog, and then it like runs all around town. I'm excited to watch that again, but this one is with the Maori family, and it's about Taj Mahal, and I wanna say. don't know which sister, but
Oh, that's sounding familiar. Now that you say that only one of them's in it, because I remember that being yes.
all of them are in it.
Does the other one come into it at some point? I cannot
Yeah,
remember.
because they jump in a pool and become young, or they become young, and then they jump in a pool and become old again. I don't remember. It's so.
I love that you're making no sense whatsoever. It's great.
Google, because you have the internet, right?
I do.
Google,
Let me get on IMDb.
You're better at this than me. Or just Google Maori siblings.
No, I'm gonna just look up
in a
Tosh
movie
Maori's
together.
IMDb
There's
page.
definitely. Maybe I'm mixing up. Maybe it's not the movie where
Hey,
a couple
here's a
becomes
quick question.
young. What?
Spell Taj Maori for me.
T-A.
Oh, it's an H. There's an H
Yeah.
in there. That's what I missed.
Yeah. I'm
Hey,
pretty
he's
sure.
3 years older than me? Okay, anyway.
I'm pretty sure.
17 again. Yes,
Oh.
I'm not kidding. It's actually called 17 again. It's one of the first things that pops up on here.
Is it called 17 again?
It's called 17 again.
And it's about. Is it Taj and.
While divorced and bickering grandparents watch their grandchildren, a lab
Yes!
experiment goes awry,
Yes!
transform elders into teenagers again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie.
Oh, right, because isn't it like is one of the sisters the I forget how that works. I forget how that
So, one of the sisters. So I think it's Tia is playing the sister.
and then when the grandmother gets younger, she also just looks
She
like her.
She
right?
becomes. It's Tamara. I could have them mixed up.
Young Cat and Young Jean. Yes.
Yeah.
Grandma Cat and Grandpa Jean. Yeah, so it's that
So is young Cat
Sydney right.
Tamara or Tia?
So Young Cat is Tia is Sydney
So yeah, so I had it right.
and Todd
Good for
Willie.
me.
And then Tamara is Young Cat.
Good for me for remembering. I love that movie so freaking much. Because I think there's a storyline where Tamara, like, I think that could be a different movie too, though. I don't know. I can't wait to watch that again. Is it called 17 again?
That's-
almost said that.
But yes, it's because 17 again is the name of another movie.
Well, I
so
know
it throws
that.
you off. Yeah, so
I
it
love
throws
that
you off
movie
when you
too.
say it.
But I almost did say 17 again.
But
as
yes,
the
it is
title.
called
I
17
love
again.
that.
I'm
I love
actually
that
on the
movie
page
so
right now
good.
to make sure it's
So-
actually up here, and I'm trying to sort out the one big problem I have with their dang search, with their listing,
Who?
Disney Pluses.
Oh, the
Is that
Disney
if you go to the
blank?
movies, yes, if you go to just A to Z, and sort them,
Yeah.
it will anything that's like officially labeled Disney blank or Disney Presents blank will
Yeah.
all be under the D's. And so like halfway through the D's, all of a sudden you're seeing stuff that starts with like S and B and X and everything because it's
That's
Disney
crazy.
blank,
That's
Disney
crazy.
blank.
I hope it'll be on there eventually if it's not
Yeah.
on there yet.
So both Twitches are,
Yes.
but I
own
don't
both
think
of them,
17
but that
again
makes me happy.
is.
It will be eventually. I'll be able to watch.
I'm sure
it
it
again.
will. I'm so
Yeah.
sure it will. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think. Yeah, that one's not up right now. But yeah, so oh my God,
Smart guy. Smart guy should be on Disney.
Smart Guy's up there. Smart Guy is up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cause I can't wait to watch that again. I really have a big love for the Maori family. I just need I really do. They were a lot of my childhood. A lot of my growing up was surrounded around that family, and it makes me very happy. Yep.
They're very good actors. Smart Guy is excellent.
Yep.
I remember the episode about chess where they figured out the best way to beat a computer was to do something dumb to start and confuse it right away.
Yeah. This episode where he's testing out a video game for these. Oh, I just need to watch Smart Guy. I'm so excited to watch Smart Guy again. Sorry, I don't know where this is going.
It's going nowhere. We've said all the things. Also, there's just I will say some of the good things that Disney Plus does actually do is that there's a collections thing.
Yeah.
So it's like all the Disney Channel original movies under one thing, or Disney by the decade. And it just goes, here's everything that released in each decade. So that's good. It's just
Yeah.
that it's not like the smoothest UI. Disney, you multi-billion-dollar owner of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at it on a computer earlier today, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, cause I saw how it collected everything. I'm like, that's good. That's cool. I like that. And then I was able to find Jonas.
Oh, the Jonas Brothers.
Have you ever seen that show?
Of course not.
It's magnificent. It is
I was
magnificent.
a Naked Brothers band fan myself.
Okay. All right.
I
Fair
wasn't.
enough.
I've never watched
No, I
either of
know.
those.
I know.
Okay.
You should watch Jonas. It's magnificent. It's incredible. It really shows Nick's where Nick's acting career began.
Doesn't it show where all of their acting careers began?
He's the one who has an acting career. Kevin's busy being a father and a husband.
Kevin's busy
Joe,
being the other one.
yeah, which made I always loved Kevin. Joe is busy being Joe Jonas, and Nick has been in a bunch of movies since their breakup, which was apparently his fault.
Because he wanted to go do other things.
I think so. I think it was just like because there's been when they were getting
I'm clearly
back
the
together.
Andrew Lawrence of this family. I'm out of here.
when they were getting back together, people were like asking like, "Oh, was there feuding?" Blah 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 blah. And there was a question. They did I think it was with James Corden, and they did lie detectors. And one of the questions was, "Why did the band break up?" And it was Nick on the lie detector. He goes, "It was because of me." And it was true. I'm like, "Oh my god, no!"
When you find out that Nick Jonas actually killed someone one night,
my
they went on a
God.
hijinks adventure to hide the body, and at the end of it, they decided to go their separate ways.
God, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Jonas Brothers.
So, and
Anyways,
yes,
you had
the
other
Mandalorian,
stuff to
the
talk
first episode of the Mandalorian is excellent. I'm not going to go like too much into it, but Werner Herzog is in it for some reason. Werner Herzog is a guy that just shows up on shit. I watched a weird horror movie once where he was just the voice of an alien for no reason. I don't know where they got Werner Herzog to do this, but he's just the voice of an alien. Um, and then someone asked him what it was like to work with Jon Favreau, and he was basically like, "Who?" So he just
Ooh.
it's like, "Oh no, I've never watched any of his movies before, so I didn't feel any pressure whatsoever to work for the guy."
I
And
mean, that's a way to go into a situation.
sure. The last thing I will say about Disney Plus is Star Wars. Of course, all the Star Wars are up there.
Yeah.
I love the ridiculousness of streaming rights. So, all of Star Wars is up there. You know what's not all up there? Marvel. Because Disney spent years selling off the streaming rights to Marvel as they went along.
Yep.
Until like 3 years ago when they decided they were going to make Disney Plus. So like Endgame and Infinity War are up there. Captain Marvel's up there.
I saw Captain America, but I don't know which
The three
Captain America
all three Captain
Okay.
Americas are up there. Or at least there's posters for them. I haven't clicked on them, so I don't know if one of them has like a date yet. Because a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff you click on, it'll be available here or there. But like the original 3 Iron Mans are up,
Iron Man.
but like original Hulk isn't. The 3 Thors are up.
I don't
stuff
think any
like
of the Spider-Man things are up
None of the
there, right?
Spider-Mans are up, and that's a Sony thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so funny that just like they like spent all this money on Marvel and they put all this together, and they don't even own their own shit to put it on their own website.
Exactly.
But the best one though is for Force Awakens. The only reason Force Awakens is on here is because they had to make a deal with Stars that they would run an ad for Stars at the beginning of Force Awakens before the movie.
What?
Because it's the only way they got Force Awakens on the website.
That's insane.
Because they needed to have all of those since it was premiering so close to Rise of Skywalker. So they made a deal with Stars that it would run an ad.
Oh my god. That's insane.
And then, of course, because it wouldn't be a Star Wars re-release without a Han and Greedo like fuck up. Have you seen anything online today about the Han and Greedo fuck up?
I have been staying off of the internet because of Pokemon.
Good for you.
So no,
I'm
I
gonna
have not.
So, how do I want to introduce this controversy? I'm just gonna say, McClunky.
What?
You know what that means?
What?
No one knows what that means.
What?
No one knew till about an hour ago. So,
What?
Is
this a Han shot first scenario?
this is This is an update to the update to the update of the Han shot first
Jesus.
scenario.
Oh my god.
So, if anybody out there is too young to never have seen an
Cut.
untainted version
An
of Star
uncut
Wars,
version. Yeah.
the original version of New Hope, the original Star Wars, no episode title, no New Hope title, the introduction of Han Solo, he just shoots Greedo during that conversation.
Yep.
He shoots first, he kills Greedo.
Mhm.
It's it's super smooth. It's also super bad.
Yeah.
It makes him a bad guy. It's
Yeah.
why Diego Luna's character in Rogue One is an asshole when you meet him, because
Yeah.
the people who wrote Rogue One went, no, it's okay for these people to be bad people.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were like, we can't have Han outright shoot someone
Right.
because he
So
is he is a good guy. He is part of the good guy team.
in
So then
1990,
they changed it.
yes, in 1997 when they do the first re-release of Star Wars for the VHS like special editions, George Lucas is like, by the end of the third movie, he's like, well, Han was such a cool character. I never really wanted him to come off as such a bad guy. I think he would be, we're just going to change this. And all of a sudden, Greedo shoots first.
Uh-huh.
And because it's the fucking home video release and nobody has another version of it, creates a whole fucking shitstorm for 20 years about who shot first. Fast forward again,
Which is
after
hilarious.
after the prequel trilogy is done, and they do all of their re-releases for those, and now you can get like just as and this is before Lucasfilms is still its own thing. This is before Disney does anything. They're doing more DVD releases, and they're like, what if we tried to fix this, but not by going back to what it was originally? What if we tried to make it so that they shoot at the same time, and it just looks like it's a standoff, and we get one of those cool shots where you see two guns go off and you don't know who's shot until someone falls over.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that. Except that the shot can't be done that way because that's not what happened. And so the response is to very poorly edit Han Solo ducking away from the shot. So his head is very badly edited to duck away, and then they like overlap the frames. It's a whole thing. It's so bad
I don't
looking.
think I've ever seen that.
That is the latest version of that. Up until now, that was the latest version. Like if you bought the like Blu-ray sets that have come out, or the DVD like the full saga sets and stuff that have all come out,
Really?
that is the version that you get. That's the ones where like Hayden Christensen is the Force Ghost at the end of Jedi, at the end of Return of the Jedi.
All
That's
those
that.
edits are so fucking weird to me.
Yeah. And it's all George
so
Lucas. It's all
weird.
George Lucas constantly going back and be like, I want to fix this. I want to fix this. And like all these years
Yeah.
of like people fighting with it, right? So that's that edit, and it's bad. So
Oh God, how can
this
it get
episode,
worse?
so this episode, so like the first thing people do when Disney Plus comes out,
Is to check
what
it.
version of Star Wars do we have? That's what
Yeah.
everybody wants to know. So
Yeah.
they go watch New Hope, and immediately Twitter is flooded with people screaming the word McClunky for some reason, because apparently,
I can't.
now if you watch it just before that poorly edited frame of them shooting each other, which is still in there,
Oh my God.
there's now a very quick frame of Greedo screaming the word McClunky, and then that happens. And when I tell you it's bad ADR,
What?
I'm going to tell you that it literally sounds like someone just put that video in front of them with a microphone and said it in 2019 over a movie from 1977. So it doesn't even sound like Greedo, let alone sounding like it fits like within the sound of everything around it. So there's been some searching today
I
to
have
find
no
out what
words.
happened. So two things we learned today through the various people needing to know what the hell's going on. Number one, it's George Lucas's fault still, apparently. Apparently, right before the sale of Lucasfilms to Disney, he was working on 3D, 4K, Blu-ray, Ultra re-releases of the films, and this was the thing he did. This was apparently his addition to that scene at this point, which just at this like you just have to
At
add
this
things to
point,
that
it's
scene.
just a joke
At
scene,
this yes, at this
which
point
is
you just add
kind of
shit every
sad.
time it releases. So like that's the thing he was doing. Was this is a thing like they're like George Lucas did it. It's not our fault. Whatever dumb thing, and this is the version we bought from him. We don't have another version of New Hope. This is what we have. This is what we have the rights to. This is what we
God.
bought off the guy. For all we know, he threw the rest of the reels out in the backyard, burned them, and pissed on the ashes because this is the only version of New Hope that exists. And so
Jeez.
after some more digging, they're like, then what the hell is he even saying, George? Why is it in there? And it's apparently Rhodian for like, you will die or something. Whatever the hell it is he screams is supposed to be whatever alien language Greedo speaks
Yeah.
for who shall die. So that's just him calling the shot before they shoot at each other.
Why?
I don't know, Dale.
Why is this a thing?
Don't know.
Why is censorship a thing?
Not even censorship. It's George Lucas doing
Well,
the
it's
like
But
it's
George Lucas censoring himself in the early days. He's like, I don't want my good guy to look like a bad guy.
I
And it's
guess,
like,
yeah.
but
It's
no,
like
George. No, George. Yeah, talking to you on first name basis.
because his like insistence every time he did these updates with the bad graphics and I want to add more of this and that because it wasn't always just the Han shooting people scene. It was like, oh, we updated the explosions to look cooler and oh, we added more aliens into this entire scene because I really wanted the place to look fuller, but we didn't have money for all the people in the costumes. And so like his insistence was always like, I just didn't have the money to make Star Wars look the way I wanted it to. A thing that made Star Wars good, by the way. Like the reason Star Wars is good is because it was clearly constrained. The reason the prequel trilogy not as good is because George Lucas had more money than God and didn't have anyone stopping him. So
I like the prequels. I am going to go on record right here on a podcast. I've probably said before, I like the prequels.
the prequels,
They're
I will
fun.
watch them. I'm going to rewatch them now that they're up here because it's been a very long time since I watched them, and I know that they've been largely history's decided they're okay, and I guess I lived through it. I couldn't tell you, uh, but I think I will always believe though. To me, the entire prequel trilogy is Leia in The Last Jedi saving herself with the worst graphics in the whole movie.
God.
That's what the prequel trilogy is to me. Is someone said, I want to do a thing and not enough people or the right people didn't say no. And so the whole thing happened and we have to live with it now.
I don't know.
So like
I
so
think
like
they're
like
good.
George Lucas just needs to not have all the money to do everything he wants so that he's forced to cut things because when he doesn't have to cut things he puts everything in there and it just
That's hilarious to me.
so yes so
That's incredible.
clunky.
What? I have no words for
It's
that.
apparently a derivative of Hutties because the Rhodians were large. They lived on Tatooine, which was under the Hutt rule, and uh, the Rhodians tended to work for the Hutts because they were a subservient species. And so, clunky. It's two words. It's a derivative of Hutties for "you shall die." So
Okay.
that's
You just said a lot of words.
spend my whole day.
You just said a lot of words that had to do with Star Wars. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah, that sounds
So how have you been?
ridiculous. I've been good. I have not dove into Disney Plus really at all. Other than
They
the
screwed up Simpsons too, but we'll get into that another time.
yeah. Like this morning we had Simpsons on while I was getting ready for work. That was it. And then Devin was talking about how gargoyles, something with gargoyles, how the band episode didn't they took off the wrong episode. So the band episode that existed was still on there and the one before it was off, but then it came back and all that. So that's really the only diving I've gone into that, other than the first thing being added to my watch list was Jonas. That's it. That's really it. We have a free trial right now. And yeah, but like I didn't, I'm at work, so I'm not really watching shows except for on my break. And right now that is being dedicated to Dragon Prince.
Ah, yes, Dragon Prince. I'm so excited for season 3.
Me too.
I just,
I
I
can't
really,
wait.
I can't wait. I want to see what happens to these characters. Oh man. I also think you should watch more She-Ra
I
because,
do.
like,
I need to watch more She-Ra. Like, as soon as I finish Dragon Prince, that's probably gonna be the next Netflix thing. As far as cartoon watching goes, on that streaming, because I probably will do another one on Disney or Hulu or something. But I really wanted to rewatch Dragon Prince before the 3rd season, and I'm just realizing how much that show has stayed with me, and like, and how emotional I get during it.
yeah, you were texting me and you're like, I started crying and I haven't even gotten to the scene yet.
Yeah,
And I was like, wait, are new episodes out? You're like, no, I'm
No.
rewatching season 1. I'm just like,
Well, that's the thing is, so, and I don't want to get too spoilery because there are people out there who haven't seen it, and this is a show that shouldn't be spoiled for people because there's a lot of legitimately magical things that happen in it that you just need to experience firsthand.
it is very well written, emotional resonance among like fantasy stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's really good.
Exactly. So like I was even tweeting about the scene that made me cry and the scene that made me cry before I even saw the scene. But I tried not to include why it made me cry. And that was difficult.
Nothing like going on Twitter and saying you're crying and not telling people why, because you know what? That's bait, is what that is
Well,
for people.
the thing is that the way I see it is, if people don't know Dragon Prince, this is just they're just gonna read it and be like, oh, okay, whatever. But if people know the Dragon Prince, hopefully they know what scene I'm talking about and what I'm just like talking. I mean, I also get emotional over different things that other people get emotional over, but like I'm gonna get emotional when it comes to animals. And I'm gonna get emotional when it comes to children needing to grow up, like in basically kids not being able to be kids.
I bet that second episode of Boy Meets World would really resonate with you on an emotional.
Maybe, I don't know. He's not defending a kingdom as a child.
No, but he did make $58 for spray painting those shutters.
But that's the thing. It's just I don't know. And I'm remembering stuff and I forget things too, which is nice because I'm like, oh, I've taken enough of a step back where I'm like, oh yeah, that happens, and oh yeah, that's about to happen. And those are the moments where I begin to cry before I should actually be crying because I'm like, god damn, it's just so, they pack a lot of emotion and a lot of heart and a lot of like serious shit into this cartoon, and I love it so much, and I can't wait for season 3. And I'm 100% naming my Zacian.
Is it Zacian? Zacian? They said Zaki. They think they said Zacian on
I thought they said, man, I don't know. I'm naming my dog with the sword Ava. What I'm naming it because of that drawing in the credits.
I still need some sort of big bushy beard name for my whatever the hell it's called.
Max. I don't know. That's the first thing that
Can I
head.
Can I fit big bushy beard into a Pokemon naming thing?
Maybe with the new one, I don't know. But yeah, no, I just love Dragon Prince, and everybody should watch it. Especially if you liked Avatar, if you were into that, you should give this a try because this is the same people.
Agreed.
But yeah, and other than that, I mean, I saw some movies over the weekend. The 3 movies I saw, weird triple feature. Because I talked about Jojo Rabbit, right? Yeah.
Yes, because we had seen that right before. Yeah.
From Jojo Rabbit and Gemini Man, right? And all that.
Yes.
2 weeks before. Yeah. So this weekend I saw Playing with Fire, Black and Blue, and Arctic Dogs.
Yeah, I heard this on Say Report and I
Yes, you
thought that
did.
was such a weird combo.
Yeah.
Um, hmm.
Well,
Very quickly, let me think of how I want to. How do we want to go through these movies? What is the thing that comes to mind when you think about these three movies?
they're all great and incredible and pretty tense at moments.
Even Arctic Dogs,
Yes, even Arctic Dogs.
a movie I never saw a preview for. It just existed as a standee in the theater for a
You've
while.
never seen a I saw previews
I don't
for
see
that
movies,
movie.
Dale.
I know that's true, but not even online or something. I guess your online searches probably wouldn't point to Arctic Dogs, though, right?
That sounds like you're judging me.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm more or less judging me.
No, it's because I go to places like Netflix that don't have ads.
That's true too. But it's like you're not Googling.
The only reason I'd
IMDb?
Google Arctic Dogs
No,
is
no.
because I want to know what I would I want to know if there's like shady business behind it. It's like Arctic Dogs is a front for the mob. Like I'd believe that. I don't know what this is.
What? Don't say that. That's scary. No, it's a weird. It's a weird movie, but it's great. It had such heart. I mean, and I say weird movie. I don't think it's weird, but it's not. It's one of those scenarios where it's like it's not Disney, it's not Pixar, it's not DreamWorks, it's not anything else. It
There's
just
like three
is.
art houses in the whole. There's like three animation houses in the whole country. Where the hell did this
It's
come
not
from?
Illumination. I think it might be a Blue Sky movie. I think it might be a Blue Sky production, which I believe they did. If I'm basing it purely off of how the animation looks, I think it's the same people who did like Nut Job and Norm of the North. I could totally be wrong, so do not quote me on that. But it has the same feeling of those movies, if you get what I mean.
I don't, because I've never actually seen any of the movies you just
That's
named.
fine. I haven't seen them either. I just have seen trailers and clips from them. But no, Arctic Dogs was really good. And speaking of the animation, it looked beautiful. Like, it's all animals, right? It's got a very strong Zootopia vibe to it, in a lot of ways. But like, so it's all animals, and like, so Jeremy Renner is is playing the not the titular character, but
the titular Arctic Dog.
No, but so he's playing the main character, who is a white fox. He's an Arctic fox, right? And the whole opening of the movie is talking about how as a kid, you know, he was taught how to use his like natural abilities to blend into the environment and be invisible and hide and all of that. And he's like, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be one of the like mail delivery service people because everybody loves them and I want to be on that team. And they're seen and they have fame and like everybody, like I said, everybody loves them. They're like basically, so it's about this delivery service kind of thing, and this delivery service, and their whole mission and biggest thing that they do is bring like medical supplies and food into this secluded like little village. And so a lot is riding on them, so that's why they have like this fame and this admiration from the townspeople and are viewed as like superheroes in a lot of ways. And that's what Jeremy Renner's little Arctic fox wants. I can't think of his name. Swifty? Yeah, Swifty. So that's what Swifty wants, because like I said, his whole life he's been told, this is how you be invisible, this is how you hide from people. But there are these beautiful moments where he walks in front of a snow pile and completely disappears into the snow pile because of his white fur. but the way it is shown, the way it is animated is just gorgeous. It is some of the best like invisibility animation that I have seen in a long time. And that alone is what makes Arctic Dogs like a step above a lot of other movies for me. A lot of other animated movies for me. And then you add their textures in that movie, especially with the fur on some of the animals, was just incredible. And it just again brings that appreciation out of me for animation and for everything that goes into an animated feature, animated piece of media or anything. And it also makes me kind of sad that, like, these kind of movies don't get the same recognition that, like, a Disney gets, or even and I love DreamWorks, but or even a DreamWorks or an Illumination gets, because it's not a big name. It's just another animated movie that gets a limited marketing. Like you said, you never saw a trailer. Like, it has very limited marketing, but it has a great, huge cast behind it. But it's also people who, like, Jeremy Renner is known by kids because he's Hawkeye, but like Alec.
But they're not gonna bank on Hawkeye when they're not a Disney property.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and exactly, and like, Heidi Klum is a voice. What's it? Alec Baldwin is a voice.
And it can't call out Boss Baby.
Yo, like, that's the thing. Like, and why can't I think of her? Angelica Houston? No. Is it Angelica Houston? No. I can't think of the last person's name. But like, it's these
names that are established actors, but not
like
kids actors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like actors that children's parents are gonna know, but like, that's not enough to get them, to go. But it is one of these smaller house animations that really deserves the recognition, but probably will never get it, which is sad to me. And like, it also goes to pretty dark places in that you're probably, are you ever gonna see Arctic Dogs, Zach?
Probably not.
Okay, so like the main thing is that this walrus was like, he kept coming up with ideas of how to better deliver the mail. He kept coming up with ideas of like gadgets and stuff, of inventions, and people were basically telling him, you're crazy, like, this is stupid, this never would work, and all of that. So then he goes to this small town and gets a job at the delivery service, and while he's at the delivery service, he's like doing a bang up job. He's loved, and everybody like is supporting him. But then he comes up with a plan of how to better deliver the mail, and it's all through a tubing system. And like, the best way that, it's all through a tubing system, but it's powered by like this gas and this oil, and it's kind of like, it's like magma or something, but it's like this gas.
So he automates the system, but it uses fossil fuels.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's like, it's this very toxic waste, pretty much, in the core underneath their town, that powers this machine. And so the boss is like, no, get the hell out of here. That is ridiculous. That is diabolical. No, we're not doing that, because if any of that gas slips out, everybody's dead. So then he like goes off and becomes evil and is like, I'm going to now destroy your town. And
by doing the thing I swore wouldn't happen, but you all insisted would. So fine,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it my own way.
Yeah. So his whole thing is that he's gonna release that toxic waste, is how I'm gonna describe it, because I don't remember exactly what it was, but he's gonna release it, and oh, that's what it was. It was toxic fumes that changed the temperature. So it was
So he caused global
melting.
warming. He was causing global
He's basically
warming.
causing global warming. And that's what it was, is that it was melting all of the ice and melting all the ice caps. So throughout the movie, things start to get warmer in the town, and everybody's loving it. They don't realize what's happening. And Swifty, obviously, he's the main character. He's the hero of the story, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, this guy is, like, trying to melt us away because nobody supported him. And his plans of, and his machine that could have made this happen. So, yeah. So it's, like, dark and is about global warming. But no one's gonna see it.
That's the real reason no one saw it. It's a conspiracy to stop you from being concerned about the planet.
Yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was cute. It's adorable, and it raises awareness. There you go. That's my TED Talk on Arctic dogs. But yeah, but like I said, it was a weird triple feature, because the first movie was Playing with Fire, and that was all about, I don't even know, like, it was just so good. It was about family and about, like, learning, job isn't everything.
It's John Cena's pacifier moment.
Pretty much.
Or Tooth Fairy moment. I say that, except that I think John Cena's been perfectly willing to work with kids for ages.
Oh, yeah.
He's a perfectly chill dude by all accounts.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the pacifier moment, probably, because, like, I think of him in Blockers, and he is very, like, he's kind of lame in Blockers, but he's still John Cena, so he's not that lame.
That's also still a, I mean,
he's just a concerned father. That's really what it is, and that's not really lame.
That's still a teen-oriented comedy. A teen, like, that's not family comedy.
It's
that's
not
a
family
teen
thing.
to adult oriented comedy. Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm like, that's the only other closer one, but it's very not. It's not. I really like Blockers. But anyways, Playing with Fire was great, and it was so cute, and oh my god, and it just, like, made your heart hurt in a lot of ways, but also made your heart feel really good.
I mean, Nickelodeon's good at that. Harriet the Spy is devastating, at times. Clock Stoppers, scary at times.
Yep.
Nickelodeon's very good at this.
Yeah, it really. I mean, it is, and well, like, I remember talking about Dora, and, like, shit happens in the Dora the Explorer movie. Shit goes down.
I forgot that was this year. This year has been so long.
Yeah. Like, stuff for real, like, bad stuff happens in Dora the Explorer. But, no, Playing with Fire was really, it was just cute, but, like, the big twist, I'm like, I knew that was coming the minute I saw a trailer. So I was just waiting for it to happen, but it still gets you. It still gets you right in the heart, man. Oh, it's bad. It's crying.
Well acted, cliche, tropey stuff still makes you cry.
Yeah,
it's just a thing. They're tropes for a reason because they know it'll work.
Yeah. And Black and Blue was just fantastic and incredible. And
I remember seeing a trailer for that, and I was like, I could probably pop in and watch that one afternoon. Never got to do it, but
it's so good. It's so good that, like, it just touches upon really interesting issues that are in the world today, and it does.
It's funny because it feels like that got overshadowed by 21 Bridges when 21 Bridges doesn't come out for, like, weeks.
Yeah.
But it was just like the trailers.
21
Bridges.
Bridges
21 Bridges get pushed?
It did. 21 Bridges was going to be my birthday movie. And then it got pushed, like, the day before it was gonna be released.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure any number of reasons why, but, like, it just feels like the trailers for those came out at the same time, and it was like, watch Black Panther in a Russo brothers produced, like, cop movie, or watch this other one with, like, not Black Panther. It's like, okay, yeah, cool.
No,
Thanks.
but it really, like, there was one time where we were watching a trailer and Devin was like, it's kind of like John Wick, and it really is. And it's Naomi Harris, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So It's
I mean,
like
it had
everybody is against Naomi Harris.
it's like
Except for
any
like
number of
one
like
person.
right, and it's like any number of like late '90s and early 2000s action movies too. Like the reason that it got my attention more than 21 Bridges, I was like, oh, this looks like something I would have watched on like USA sometime in the late '90s, and that's
Yeah.
actually cool. I haven't seen a
Yeah.
movie like that in forever.
Yeah.
Like The Siege.
Yep.
I haven't seen a movie, not to bring Kevin Spacey into anything, but I haven't watched The Siege with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson in forever. But that's like the same style of, like the same level of
Yeah.
movie I think of when I go look at that trailer.
But it's just
So.
so it's such an interesting movie because it's like everybody is against her and she is constantly able to get out of the situation that she's in. And it just shows that like how freaking strong she is and how smart and like capable. I mean, she was I mean, I'm going to say it because it's not that. I mean, it's a big deal. I don't think it was ever shown in a trailer, but I'm going to say but like she's ex-military and it's just like I've seen shit. I can get myself out of this situation, but I still need help. Like I'm still injured and
I'm
still
still
need
a human
someone,
being.
and I still
Yeah.
need help from someone, but I'm still gonna be able to kick fucking ass and like get the bad guy. And it like touches upon like the whole dirty cop trope and scenario that exists. It takes place in New Orleans, which I did not know, and it touches upon a lot of like post Katrina ideas.
Right, like distrust of like
Yeah.
distrust of the cops, which already exists
Yeah,
for
exactly.
good reason in
But,
primarily black
yeah.
neighborhoods, but to then
Yeah.
add on the layers of the government's already kind of
Mm-hmm.
fucked with us. Yeah,
But it's not even that. It's also just like distrust and like abandonment issues
right.
that I didn't really know too much about, but you know, it did happen. It
Yeah, the sort of
happened.
thing that when you think about, oh
And
yeah, 14 years later, there's still stuff in New Orleans that they
it
never fixed.
still looks like
Yeah,
it was hit by a hurricane, and it's just, and New Orleans is such a beautiful city that it's just we could have done better. We could have done better to help this area, and we didn't. And it's just it's awful. It's awful, and you know, it's just, but it brings up a lot of interesting ideas and ideals that I no doubt like are still happening and still coming up about abandonment and all of that. And it's just it's just really freaking good. Like it's really everybody should go see Black and Blue. That's what I'm gonna say. Is that everyone
or
should see Black and Blue.
stream it whenever it comes out or rent it from wherever
Like
because I don't think it's in
should,
theaters anymore.
I don't. Yeah, maybe not. But I'm just saying everyone should see it at some point. I think because it's an interesting movie and it brings up a lot of stuff that I don't think people generally think of. And it's just Katrina shook the world in a lot more ways than one. And I didn't even realize that would be a plot point in this movie. And I don't feel bad saying that because like saying that or spoiling that or whatever, because like that's something that I think would get more people to go watch that movie in a lot of ways, because there's people who would see it and be like, oh, it's another cop movie, okay, it's another dirty cop movie,
Right,
okay.
there's more going on to it than
Like,
just
no,
the
it's
chase.
it's not just that. It touches a lot upon and again when they started talking about, and I don't think they ever explicitly say Katrina, but they allude to it a bunch, and they talk about it and everything, and characters are just mad at each other. There's about how they handled the situation, about how the situation was handled in general, and it's just like, wow, okay, that's what this movie is about. It's not just about cops and gangs and how those two worlds collide and how they are similar and how they're different and all of that. It is also about how this natural disaster affected people. and it's just incredible. It's beautiful. So yeah, people should watch it.
There you go. Arctic dogs in black and blue. Believe it or not.
And Playing with Fire.
And Playing with Fire.
Those
That's the one
three
out of the
movies.
three of them that got the most marketing. So
Yeah, really, yeah. Which is interesting. I mean, it's John Cena. It doesn't surprise me because it's John Cena. Like people gonna harp on that.
and it will
For some
jump on,
reason.
and it will show on and Nickelodeon and Paramount and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. But that's
Well,
it.
I was going to talk about Death Stranding and my little tank baby, but I would actually save that for next week so I can finish up more of it.
Fair
I'm going
enough.
through it so much slower than other people because of work. Like, there are people talking on Twitter that, like, legitimately definitely got the game on Friday and, like, I'm done. I was like, how? It's like people have talked about it being like a 50 or 60-hour game. You can't be done with it yet. I'm still in, like, the first third. I just got a bike so I don't have to go traipsing about the damn place. There's no
That's funny.
fast travel in this game.
Really?
Yes, it's a good thing.
Interesting.
It makes the game very interesting, but also I was so happy to get a thing that made me move marginally faster. Because Norman Reedus trying to shift things on his back and walk is not a fast man.
That's awesome.
Especially when I have to stop at a safe house to go to the bathroom and look at an ad for a Norman Reedus show.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Yeah. You said that, and I'm just like,
It's-
what?
The shower has like the opaque, does the like sci-fi future thing of like you've got an opaque shower door that's also a computer screen.
Oh my
And so like when he sits down to use the toilet, the screen comes up so you don't see Norman Reedus go to the bathroom, and it's just an ad for Ride with Norman Reedus on AMC.
Ridiculous. Next week I'll have
He also-
Pokemon to talk about.
He also just crushes cans of Monster Energy drink to keep going.
Jesus.
Because in the apocalypse, Monster Energy drink and AMC still exists.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not
and Mads
surprised.
Mikkelsen because he'll go on forever.
Yep, I'm not surprised. Well, so you can look forward to Death
It's gonna
Stranding
be- oh my
discussion
God, it's gonna
and
be
Pokemon
It's
discussion.
gonna be Pokemon and Death Stranding.
It's
Oh my God.
Gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be Pokemon Stranding. There's our title. Write
Death
it down.
Pokemon?
No,
Death. No.
it's Pokemon Stranding, Zach. Don't even.
That's if we get to Death Stranding. There's a good chance that you just get 2 hours of Pokemon,
That's
everybody.
true.
I apologize.
It could happen. Who knows? This has been like my most anticipated video game since like it was announced, like barely announced last year. I'm so fucking excited. Cannot wait. But until then, that was a smooth segue until I ruined it right now. But until then, you can check us out. You can find us if you liked what we discussed. If you have anything to talk to us about, you can find us on various areas. You can find us on YouTube by searching Say Report Jr. You could find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of the podcast apps that you use to listen to us or your podcast or whatever. Find us on there by searching Say Report Jr. You can also find us on, I almost said Instagram, but we don't have that.
Never even looked at the site. Don't know how it works.
You can find us on Twitter by searching @SayReportJr. And you can find us individually. I am @Dale's Brain.
And I am @Zerwisky.
And with that, Ruby meowed. She doesn't have a Twitter. Maybe I should make a Twitter for my cat. Anyways, I think it's time to get ice cream.
Take it away, Liz.
I was like, are you
I
gonna,
wasn't sure if I was supposed to say it or not.
are you gonna send it to Liz? What's gonna happen?
That was so close. That was so close to a smooth ending.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts Dale Decker and Zach Sarowik. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.